Hello, folks. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe Tour Love. Here to talk about, of course, know the name of the game, sports. Primarily, hope everyone's doing well. Today's been some odd day when it comes to particularly the wind, but nonetheless, we're here to provide a good sports edition today on the podcast. Primarily, as we are on the doorstep of the NBA playoffs, we will again touch up upon the NBA standings and go over the play-in games and give you a preview of this week's festivities. UFC 300, a hell of a card, as we kind of figured turning out from Saturday night's local casualties or new fans, whichever, that viewed onto the product 300 strong and going forward, as well as some of the big fights Dana White mentioned, which will continue over the summer. Give our early thoughts on that. But nonetheless, thank you all for joining me. We'll talk about a little baseball as we're going forward. Unfortunately, with the way things are lined up, I think I'll have just a separate video talking about my playoff predictions for hockey for the NHL, just because I want to keep it fair. Regular season wraps up on Thursday, so I think I'll have my predictions therefore on Friday. Just keep in monotone with stuff and give, of course, an extra video out there for you guys. But nonetheless, that's breakdown so far of what I'm going to be preaching about today. But let's get started with the NBA. The NBA play-in and regular season is officially to a close. Wrapped up Sunday evening / afternoon, depending where you are. Nonetheless, final day of the regular season was Sunday. An interesting, very interesting last day of the regular season as far as how things turned about. So let's get into. So for starters, excuse me. So the Celtics, we know already, number one seed, they won it. The big thing was underneath. The Knicks survive in a thunderous battle with the Chicago Bulls in overtime. So they got a win off a miss by DeMar DeRozan at the last second, and credit to them, they advance and move up to the 2 seed. But in doing so, the Bucks, who without, again, Giannis. Now, the good news is they have about a week, I presume, before they face the Pacers. Let me just look it up really quick. Yeah, so Game 1 in Milwaukee is Sunday, so gives Giannis about another week to heal up from that calf issue, and we'll see from there. But as it stands right now, so Celtics 1, Knicks 2, Bucks 3. They followed 3 seeders. Might have been a blessing in disguise. because play against either the 76ers, who have been on fire since Joel Embiid has come back 7 in a row in the 7th seed, but may have been a blessing in disguise. Of course, the Heat are the 8th seed, but going back, so $3, 4 Cavs. They would take on the number 5 seed Magic. That's an interesting bout. 6 Pacers, 7 Sixers, mentioned 8 Heat, 9 Bulls, and 10 Atlanta Hawks. So, Hawks have been trailing throughout the end of the regular season and not bode well. So it seems. First, the Chicago Bulls. Now, for the West, boy, did things get shook up at the top in a few days. So, going into Sunday, it was a 3-way tie. Thunder, Nuggets, T-Wolves for top seed in the West. So how it go down? Well, first, the Thunder end up doing their job for Dallas Mavericks, who in essence were kind of locked in. They could either be... They're going to face the Clippers either way to start the first round. It's just a matter of what they finish, 5 or 4. So, A, the Thunder took business. B, the Denver Nuggets took care as they should have versus the Memphis Grizzlies, who, let's face it, they've been undermanned and not quite the same this year due to injuries and etc. So that would leave C. How would the Timberwolves fare against a Suns team where basically it was win, you're in the playoffs, lose, you're in the play-in. And the Timberwolves felt sluggish early and off defensively. It seems like they were off a high of beating the Hawks and an emotional return of Karl-Anthony Towns, and they got the win there, but they felt sluggish, and the Suns looked like a team that wanted it more. So the Suns won, meaning that not only do the Suns avoid the play-in, but also the T-Wolves fall to number 3. Meaning we'll get this rematch at least 4 times starting this weekend. So, if you're a Minnesota fan, you've not made it easy, but alas, your top 3 seed team, you're in the playoffs. Karl-Anthony Towns is back. We'll see. But so I mentioned top 3 will go down the chart as well. So as I mentioned, 4 Clippers, 5 Mavs, in being losing. But still, what a turnaround they've done since the All-Star break and the trade deadline, they've Gafford, Washington, those two studs have really added to the team, and it's good to see. As well as, of course, having two of the best players in the world scoring for you, and Luka and Kyrie. That's been a hell of a turnaround. Suns at 6, mentioned. And then the play-in teams gets interesting. 7 Pelicans, 8 Lakers, 9 Kings, and 10 Warriors. So, first of all, let's talk about the series that we know. So, I mentioned about the Timberwolves and the Suns, T-Wolves got Towns back, happened. They had the 1 seed for the longest time, and Towns got hurt. They salvaged time while he was hurt, and doing so, I think, dove in to the repertoire because they have a good amount of guys that can score. It's not just Ant-Man, it's not just Towns, but Gobert, who's on the road to on the path for his 4th Defensive Player of the Year award, also has shown he can score, as well as on offense. Kyle Anderson, Alexander Walker, buffed on his name, but nonetheless, Alexander Walker, he's a very good scorer as well. Mike Conley as well. I mean, you got depth guys on that team, which has done really well. Naz Reid, he has not gotten enough love, and he's currently my pick for 6th Player of the Year, especially with the job he's filled in. But got a tough task. I mean, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. That's as good as a trio you're gonna face in the NBA, along with Nurkic, along with Shaq Spear, Bol. I mean, it's gotta be a treat, certainly in the first round. I think now with Towns back in, I think the Timberwolves find a way, but I would not be shocked because, like I said, if you're a Minnesota fan, you gotta dig deep early, facing this Suns team, and it's gonna be a joy to watch, at least for 4 games. And then we go to the Clippers and the Mavs, 4 first 5. What can you expect? Feels like these teams are always facing each other early in the playoffs, and it's always been a joy to see. I mean, we know the stars premise faces throughout this series. I mean, Kyrie, Luka, Kawhi's the outlier, though. I mean, Kawhi's now been on a string of not being active. This is a team, for the longest time, is like, it was healthy, and they have the pieces to go a long way and possibly win it all. It's just health, benefactor. I mean, really, that game where Kawhi went out against the T-Wolves, it just has not been the same. And, yeah. But, nonetheless, you still have Paul George, you still have Zubac, still back, you have Russell Westbrook, you have Suns on the team, James Harden, when he plays, he's very good at times, but nonetheless, it's going to be a joy to watch the series. I got Dallas, but it's going to be a fun series, certainly. Then we move to the East matchups that we knew. Magic versus the Cavs. 4 vs. 5. Oh boy. This is an adventure of two interesting teams. Paolo Banchero, he's certainly a guy that you can't help but love to see for improved player. I mean, you love to see the rise and emergence of young superstars, and Paolo has certainly risen to be one of those young stars to keep in mind. Now, Orlando has not really gotten this prominence, it feels like, in years. And it's joy to see again. Certainly a joy. I got candy right next to me in case you're wondering. So, yeah. And then Bucks, Pacers. Mention briefly about this matchup. Key will certainly be honest. He's the key. You know, it's always that thing when you have two really good scorers. You know, see, this Bucks team has faced a weird dilemma. Just feels like it's dealt with a weird dilemma all season. I mean, in the off season, the reports and talk it felt going around was that Giannis wanted help, and in order to become more comfortable with the Bucks moving forward. So what they do? Bucks trade for Damian Lillard, and they let Drew Holiday go to the Bucks or Celtics, excuse me. And we've definitely seen a drop off in defense. Yes, they've continued to score, but it's not been well. Also, the Adrian Griffin, issue, and how that kind of fell apart, and Doc Rivers inserts him, and it's not been pretty. I mean, they've gotten some wins, but it's not been pretty. And now with Giannis, strained his calf, we'll see how he is, because Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers feel like they've picked up a bit of momentum again as of recently. And Tyrese needs his more confidence back, because he did have a rut in the beginning of the season, people were crushing him. But it's certainly going to be a challenge as, you got Tyrese, Siakam. I mean, that one too can bite anybody in the ass on a bad day. So we'll see. We'll see. Now let's talk about the play-in, as the games start on tomorrow. Tomorrow it's set. So, or actually, let's talk about. So, Suns, Timberwolves, Game 1, Saturday. Magic Cavs, Game 1, Saturday as well. On Sunday, Game 1 for Bucks, Pacers, and then Game 1, Clippers, Mavs. So let's talk about playing. So, for starters, tomorrow in the West, we got 7 seed Pelicans versus 8 seed Lakers. Lakers, it's been unique. So, last year, there was a big emergence of excitement around the Lakers because they were heavy at the trade deadline, and then Austin Reeves emerged, Rui Hachimura and company, D'Angelo Russell, at times since solid, but lately it hasn't felt like the same vibe. Anthony Davis, of course, we know when healthy, is a stud, and LeBron is a good player. He's not LeBron anymore at the end of his career. He's good at times, but he's not LeBron. So, this is going to be a unique battle, seeing basically the present / past against the proverbial present versus future kind of crossroads type of battle. And Zion versus LeBron. And Zion this year, or this season at least, it's felt like he's turned the corner because he's been healthy, he's been good. I mean, we've said the last couple of seasons that he's been good, but his health has been a question. This year, not so much, and it's been joy to see. He's paid more attention to his shape, or his body being right, and it's about his supporting cast as well, because he has a solid one when healthy. I mean, CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Jose Valanciunas. Valanciunas is very underrated. Very underrated for a big guy. He just has that look and that vibe about him that he's like just a tough, gritty guy you don't want to mess with. And that's what I like to see about the Pelicans. And you kind of see, this Pelicans team, I don't think is... They got tools. And when right, they can go a long way. And certainly upset, say, a OKC, a Denver, not so much. I don't think they're ready for Denver, but OKC, I can see them knocking them off. This game, though, comes down to it. One game. When you go to Denver, lose, you still got another chance, but it gets dicier. So, I mean, and this game is in New Orleans. That's the thing. In New Orleans. It's not the Crypto Center. New Orleans. I'm going to say one game. It's going to be tough. I'm going with the New Orleans Pelicans, though. I think they're studs, and I think they can get it done. Let me just check for the status of... So yeah, see how Ingram, because he played 23 minutes in his game yesterday. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. But yeah, it's gonna be unique, certainly to see. So yeah, I'm going with Pelicans over the Lakers. And with Anthony Davis's injury, that's always tough. Always tough. So let's go to the other battle in the West. 9-seeded Sacramento Kings against the 10-seed Warriors, who... The Warriors have been out of these current playoff teams or play-in teams. They are certainly the most underrated. Most underrated because it just feels like... Now, yes, these aren't the Warriors of old, but at the same time, for one game, you know, with their style, with shooting, and with how it goes right, they can just find a way to drown you. And make it a slugfest. The Kings are so very good. You know, with Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, you know, Keegan Murray. But their defense has taken a step back, and it's been tough. Hence, now, last season in the playoffs, this series was very fun. And it came down to Steph being Steph when it mattered most. And he was able to get it done for them against Sacramento Kings. And it's weird, but I feel, you know, when it comes down to it, now one game, when you need it, itself, but I feel like for some weird way we're gonna get the Warriors winning here, and then we're gonna get the Lakers against the Warriors, and then we're gonna get LeBron versus Steph for the 8th seed. I mean, that would certainly be fun. That would certainly be fun. But so yeah, I'm going with the Warriors. I mean, I like the Kings' offense heavily, but it's like, I don't know, they are just not as reliable as last season. So it's tough. But yeah, I'm going with the Warriors and the Pelicans to win respectively. Now let's go to the East. Interesting battle for the 7th seed in the East, and who will go to New Madison Square Garden to play the Knicks. We got Joel Embiid and the red hot Philadelphia 76ers, 7 straight, going up against the Miami Heat, who represented the East in the finals versus the Denver Nuggets. This is going to be fun. Now, we know Miami Heat have not been great the regular season, but we know playoffs on the line. Jimmy Butler and crew, they just turn on. And they need to. And they turned it on last year when they looked dead in the water up against the Chicago Bulls, but then they rallied up against the Bucks and against the Knicks, and then they almost blew it versus the Celtics, but won it when it counted. And it's going to be a fun battle. So, last game between the two teams, the the 76ers suddenly felt like they had their way. And this is obviously a different animal when it comes to playing, because just one game like that was. You win or you go. Continue to play in. And if I'm a Knicks fan, this is going to be tough. But I'm going to go with the Philadelphia 76ers to find a way. Or scratch that. I'm going with Miami Heat. I don't like betting against them, and I'm not betting against them here. So yeah, I'm going with Miami Heat. Bulls versus Hawks. Not too much to get into, but I will say credit to the Bulls despite the injuries and stuff that's gone on this year, they have continued to fight and go forward. And, after losing Zach LaVine, kind of felt like a lost cause bit for a season, but DeMar DeRozan, Vucevic, Caruso and company, they've rallied and gave themselves an opportunity. Kobe White, etc. And I'm going with them here for the Atlanta Hawks to get it done, find a way, and move on to face, I presume, the Philadelphia 76ers. Probably going to lose that, but credit to Chicago Bulls. They got work to do, certainly. Work to do. Righty. So, yeah, those are my predictions for the play-in. And then, so, that would mean, let me look. So, yeah. But, nonetheless, that's vibe. So, UFC 300 was a pride and a pride joy. First, before, really quick, so I know people or the media especially, have been throwing around about Kentucky. Now, John Calipari, once again exiting the NCAA championship or March Madness with Kentucky earlier than expected, and now nonetheless he's coach of Arkansas, which leads Mark Pope to be the new coach of Kentucky. So there you go, right ahead. And unique, sort of a new era. So now UFC 300, which again, was a very good card. You knew that, and very good to see. So, some throwing finishes, had some good fights. Jim Miller versus Bobby Green, that was a bloody slugfest. That was fun to see. Justin Gaethje, I feel bad as a fan of his, and just hate to see him lose. But ever since that, after that spinning back kick where he caught pretty much heel to the nose, I mean, that was brutal from there. He did manage to knock down Holloway fourth round, but nonetheless, getting face planted at the last second of the final round, and Max Holloway, what a performance by both guys. What a performance. Great stuff. Fight of the night, as configured, good stuff. We have a new contender in UFC 155-pound division. His name is Amon Tukshurian, as he beats Charles Oliveira in a split decision victory. Hats off to him. He got it done. Stuff. Bo Nickel, the New Mexico guy, once again got it done in finish he was up for. Rear naked choke, second round, got it done. Another finish for the young kid, and they're only gonna continue it from here. They're only gonna help him from here. So good stuff. Good stuff. And great performance by Yuri Prochazka against a game. Alexander Rakic on the main event of the prelims. Rakic, came to play, but unfortunately, Yuri, like Cormier said, he just round Rakic, He felt that his power and his ability was just better, despite getting leg kicked, despite, the pain against Rakic. He just kept coming forward and attacked and just beat down on Rakic until he fell down, landed shots, and Rakic just didn't have an answer after that, and just great job by Yuri. Kayla Anderson, what a debut to the UFC. Certainly was a question, when you're fighting on a lower level than the UFC. How can you contribute, and how does those results pan to the UFC? Well, we certainly saw Kayla's not afraid of the bright lights, as she basically took out Holly Holm. She did a job, and beat down on Holly and got it done. We'll see what's next for her. Definitely, I could see her fighting the girl that Blanchfield lost to a couple weeks ago, and then title shot to the winner of Raquel Pennington. It's not, but we shall see. We shall see. Main event did not last too long. Alex Pereira finished Jamal Hill, and it only took inside of a round as he knocked out Jamal Hill. It's great to see the power translate for Alex Pereira up to 205. I want to see a rematch with him and Yuri. I want to see it. It would certainly be great. He said he would like to fight, or he mentioned names such as Magomed Ankalaev and others. So he said he would take the fight if it was offered against Yuri. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but great job by Pereira. And then Dana White, after, announced some huge fights for June and the summer. So, Max Holloway called out Islam Makhachev for not fighting guys in his division, defending his title. Well, that's going to change June 1st. As we're going to see Islam Makhachev main event UFC 302 against Dustin the Diamond Poirier. He's once again getting another crack at UFC Gold. Can that materialize for undisputed UFC gold. We shall see. It's gonna be a fun one. Gonna be a fun one to see. And then the co-main of that card. You're gonna get Sean Strickland. He will not get an immediate rematch, as it will be Sean Strickland versus Paul Costa, who came up short versus Robert Whittaker's last fight. We'll draw another high-profile opponent. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see Strickland versus Paul Costa, that's for sure. And then, fight we've been waiting to hear. For a while now, the announcement has been made from the horse's mouth. Dana White announced Conor McGregor gonna fight Michael Chandler. According to them, it's official for June 29th to UFC 303 at 170 pounds, welterweight. Great stuff, great stuff. Good stuff to look forward to. Great stuff. In my birthday month, certainly gonna see. It's good to see. Good to see. Oop. Go back to my notes. Good stuff. So, one more bit of news before we wrap up. Sky Scheffler won the 2024 Masters. You know, Bryson DeChambeau did have some very good shots in the tournament, but unfortunately did not go his way, as Scheffler beat out finishing 11 on the par and beating Ludwig Edberg by 4 strokes. Goes for him. Devontae Smith of the Eagles earned himself a 3-year, $75 million deal. Contract extension with the Eagles. Good stuff. Spencer Strider has been ruled out for a season with an elbow injury. It feels like It's annoying, but it feels like a number of pitchers have been... Jeez. Yeah. We've lost a number of pitchers for the season. It sucked. It has sucked. Denver. So a couple years ago, the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup. Now, collegially, Denver has won the 2024 NCAA Hockey Championship, defeating Boston College 2-0. Goes there. Boston College beat the last year's champion Michigan in the Frozen Four, but Denver got done after beating Boston U and now being Boston College. Kills there. And I say this because gonna have some differing opinions. Rest in peace, OJ Simpson. Rest in peace to the player, OJ Simpson. I say the player because off the field, different story. I mean, But heck of a career playing in the NFL. Had a 2,000-yard season. 14 games. Or in a 14-game season. I mean, I just pull up his stats here really quick. Five straight 1,000-yard plus seasons. Goes around. He's certainly a force on the field. Hall of Famer and member of the NFL 100 all-time team. Again, I say the player, what happened off field, I don't want to get into on the field. Very good player and will be missed. The player certainly will be missed. Yeah. But rest in peace, OJ Simpson. The juice is pulped. It's it. Yeah. But anyways, guys, thank you all for joining me. That's the end of the podcast. Say, guys, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, leave a thumbs up, help out the video. Also, subscribe if you haven't already. Please do so. I should have a predictions video for my, like I said, for my NHL playoff predictions come Friday. So keep an eye out for that. But thank you guys all nonetheless today. Appreciate you guys. Love you. And peace. See you guys next time.